Hello, good morning to you. I hope you're all well. Start the week and let's have a great week doing this. Let's crush it. And I wanted to start today. We're going, as it's Monday, we'll draw on some scans. I've made a note of several that Brian and Willen and Kathy Walker have kindly posted into our Harmonic pitchforks group. So we'll use those for those of you who haven't drawn any on. So let's start by sharing screen. And welcome if you're on the 7-day free trial. I hope you have a really great, amazing, awesome week. You should find lots to look at in the units section of the Financial Freedom Movement group. And also we do a live trade of the day now, which is very exciting while you're learning. And when you join, you can look at our 25 to life. That is a key strategy. Very easy to do. I know it all seems very overwhelming. Follow the people who've trod the path before you and you'll be fine. So the first thing we do when we come on to trade every single day is look at our Forex factory and make sure that your time zone up here is on your local time zone. You can set it here. I'm on Paris time, so it depends where you are in the world, of course. Come back to the home page. Now, I had someone the other day say they didn't know how to tell what session they were in. Now, mine's at the top of the page now, but if you come down to the bottom of the home page, then click this little arrow to take the pane that I'm going to show you further up to the top. It will bring up your sessions to the top of your home page, so I can tell exactly where we are. We're 5 minutes Paris time after 2 p.m. into our London to New York crossover. Absolutely critical to look at this because it tells you what the hot pairs are. What are the hot pairs? They're the pairs being traded because the sun's up and it's local to that time zone. So because we're coming into New York, we'll be looking predominantly at USD, US dollar and Canadian dollar, and then looking at the others. The first thing that we do is to look at our news. Monday the 6th of July, and we have at 4 p.m. USD red flag news. So that means we will not trade the US dollar 30 minutes either side. Some of us do trade right up until news. We don't take any notice of it, me included, but you just need to be aware of that, particularly if you're fairly new until you find your feet. So that will be 4 p.m. my time, that's 3 p.m. just at the end of this session. So we are going to be wary of US dollar in this session. So the pairs I want to look at today, we come onto our im.center when you join. I've already got it loaded up here for you. And you'll see this menu on the left-hand side. We are going to go and look at strategies. That's where we find the HarmonicScanner, which is at the heart of this strategy. And you will find in the academies various little units to go through. Just go through the 100 series to learn the principles of playing the game of Forex. Then you can dip into series 2, 3 and 4. They get longer and more technical. I'm number 1 on the leaderboard here in France, but it's taken me quite a while to go through all the rest of the units and do some other things to keep ahead of everybody else, because I like to stay at number 1 if I can. So come on to strategies and come down to, just scroll down and you'll find all the strategies we use. This is the Harmonics, which is free with the lowest cost platinum package. And we're going to start by looking at the 1 hour. You can take any of these broker feeds. Doesn't matter which broker you're with. We have certain rules for drawing scans. We're going to look at Hugo's Way first. This is one that Brian noticed. And Euro, Ord, Gartley. Doesn't matter what the patterns are, it's only the sharks that we have a slightly different criteria. You can ask in the chat if you want to know about that. So make sure your time zone bottom right is on your local time zone. It's Paris for me. And then this is the rule. We measure the actual scan. Come to the left and take your ruler and always measure C to D. Now you can see it says 2748. Discount the last digit, that's called a pipette. and it's to the right of the decimal point. So this is 274 pips. That's big enough to draw because our rule is a minimum of 80 pips C to D. And the second rule when drawing a scan is has price moved off the D point by at least 20 pips? And the answer is yes, it's come up 72 pips. So we're good to go on this. So use this vertical line you can see moving across with my mouse. Come to the X point and write down, well, I write down what it is, 9th of the 6th at 0200, and repeat this across the 5 points, the A point, the 12th of the 6th at 0300, the B point is 17th of the 6th at 1600, and you just repeat this, and you will get faster the more that you do. I can sometimes tell now by going on to trading view and just looking at the scan. That's the 3rd of July at 2200. I can look at the highs and lows and draw it on that way, and then just come back and check that it does look the same. So come over to your trading view, click on the 1 hourly because you must draw it on the same time frame that you found the scan. And we'll just clear up some of this because I know it looks like Star Wars and we don't want anything that's going to confuse us even more.
This scan actually overlaps the previous 3 or 4, so you maybe
okay, very
have to
powerful.
turn a few off.
Yeah, will do. I'll hide them then, I think, Brian. Thank you. And just hide them for today. That'd be quicker anyway. Usually I like to keep scans in the pitchforks just faded out, but so I can slightly see them. I do turn them on because then you can tell where price may stall out, and I've got a good example of that to show you today in a minute on one of the charts I've got up. Sorry, I'm just want to fade these out a little bit, and that one. And this one, I'll just fade that out a bit, and then we'll draw this one on. There we are. So now we've got it up on the hourly, and we've got a nice clean sort of, it's still a bit opaque. That's better. A bit too opaque. I usually put it on. I always follow the same colors for lines and charts and everything, then your brain develops it in your muscle memory and you're not consciously having to think about things. So I'll turn that one off as well, just hide that at the moment. So now we've got our, and I may as well hide that, hadn't I? So now we've got our chart up, we're looking for those reversal points in the market. So you can see that looks like the low there. You can get your brush mark here and just do it like this, or you can just look at the points. So that looks like the low to a high. That's open of market, that gap there, to a low, and that's going to be up here. So I'm going to be coming off the screen in a minute, I should think. Get rid of that. And hide that. So the 9th of June, so it's somewhere over here. 9th, 12th. There's one down here. So I've just got them slightly, so it's going to be, hang on, low to high to low to high to low. So we're looking for that low point on the 9th of June. And also it would help very much if I had the correct chart up. So I'm very sorry about that. That is not a good start. Hang on. That is one I'm going to have to put back because that's the one I want to talk to you about. Very embarrassing. I'm so very sorry about that. Complete idiot. Don't answer that.
That's okay. I didn't catch your mistake either, so that's 2 of us.
Right, I'm just putting this back because I want to show it to you, so that's fine. I'm very, very sorry to waste everybody's time. Right, let me come to the correct chart, which is Euro Ord on the, I don't know why I did that, only human. And I'm not even tired either, no excuse, or hungover. So come to the hourly. I wonder why it didn't match up. There's our hourly. And this looks, just get it tidied up. So what I do is I just close down the other indicators that we use and change the old color to anything other than white, because then I know my latest scans are all in the same color. And just tidy that up. Oh gosh, that is a big one, isn't it? So what I'll do I'll hide that to hurry things up, as I wasted a bit of time. So we're coming back to the 9th of June. So it's going to be, it picks up that low point. Now, if scans cross over a previous reversal point, that is very good because it's double confirming the validity of the scan. So get your brush mark or look to see where you think the high and low points are. So we know we're picking up that low point there. So we've got low, that's your next high, that's your next low. I think it's going to be that's the next high up here and then that low down there. So let's see what points we get. So you can take the brush mark. So put the brush mark there. The 12th at 3, it's going to be that one. The 17th at 1600 is that one. The 29th at 1500 is that one. And then the 3rd of July at 2200 is going to be that one. And then, sorry, come and pick up your, back on your left-hand menu, your XABCD, your scan pattern. Click on that once and make sure you've got your magnet on. Now you've got 5 points held on your mouse, so you only want to click it one at a time. So when we click it on there, it then comes up saying A, because that has clicked the X on, so the A will be showing, so don't get confused by that. Bring your point up here, that's why you need the magnet on, because it must be accurate on the end of the wick. So you can see below it says 12th of June at 0300, so click it on there. 17th of June at 1600, click third time on there. 29th at 1500, click on there, and 3rd of July at 2200. And I've got that there. Then I like to tidy up the brush marks, because it's always important to keep your charts clean and tidy so that you don't get, on any strategy, not just this one, so that you don't get any more confusion than you need. And I'm just going to fade those out a little bit more. I like to still be able to see them in the background because they do affect price, and I'll show you a good example of that in a minute. So now you've got that on, just check it looks like similar shape. Yes, it does. Come back here, and now this is the fiddly bit, the only fiddly bit of this strategy, but this is why.
You got to draw your pitchfork first.
I have, you're right. I don't know why my brain isn't working. Thank you, Brian, so much. I appreciate that. So X to C, because this is a first pitchfork, to D, down there, and that has slipped off because there's quite a few points it could pick up there. So that's on the end, that's up there. Bring that up so you can see it clearly. And now you've got your pitchfork on. Now, the fiddly bit is we have to go down to the 1 minute, and TradingView will only take us back 2 weeks. I think Brian has a hack for that, but I haven't tried it yet.
Yeah, if you want to try it, I'll walk you through it when you get over there.
Yeah, okay then. 3rd of July.
That would be good, because I tried it and I couldn't make it work, so that would be excellent.
Oh, great. Okay, well, that's good. That'll help both of us then. I'm learning as well. It's always difficult when you have to learn a new thing when you've got your little strategy down. So because we've only got one candle on the hourly, and it looks like it's accurate, doesn't it? But because we're working on the 1 minute, we're using a hybrid strategy, 1 hour, mostly the 1 hour time frame analysis, and then an entry on the 1 minute, which enables us to have a very precise entry. And that's what enables us to work with the 10 pip stop loss. So this is well worth doing, because once you've done it, and I'll show you the example next, the pitchforks are valid forever. So now we're down here. Brian can tell me what to do to get the hack, because usually TradingView will only let you go back 2 weeks. So you have to, instead of doing it on the 1 minute, you then do as much as you can of checking the pitchfork points on the 1 minute, and then you'll have to switch to, say, the 5 minute if it's a big scan.
Yeah, you're perfectly fine until you get to the A point on this one. So just proceed as normal.
Thank you. So this is market open, so you can see very weird spreads and things going on here. There's the point, the 3rd of July, but you want to bring it to the lowest point and get it on. Make sure your magnet's on. You don't have to put the drawing on, but I always like to. You don't have to. So that's the D point on. And sometimes I use this plus sign if it won't come onto the end of the appropriate wick. But do make sure your magnet's on, because you don't want to be glitching things. And can you see how we saw on the 1 hourly it looked like it was on, but because we've got 60 candles here on the hourly, we want it, and we're down at the 1 minute, that is the one that we want. And I do like to have my most recent scans in bright pink, as everybody knows. So just switch it to my favorite color. Add a bit of spice in our life. Sometimes I put this padlock on, then I know if I accidentally over the scan, I'm not going to be glitching pitchforks, because you do want to lock them on. I made that mistake early on in my trading career, and couldn't understand until someone said, well, all you need to do, Sarah, is padlock them on. And I went, oh yeah, I didn't know that. But we learn as we go along. The B and the A points don't matter so much because there's no pitchfork on them, but I do like to have them on accurately. Just makes me feel that's now. Oh, here we are. Now this isn't going to load because we're too far back.
Not yet. It'll load perfectly fine. Shrink your screen so you can see your candles there a little bit. Now what you're going to do is you're going to click the replay button and then click it on one of the last candles that shows. Boom, there you go.
You are the most amazing man. I don't know how you find this stuff out. I'm so lucky to have you in
Actually,
here.
I got this from somebody else.
Well, you're obviously very well connected then. So here's an example of, you've got a great network. So here's an example of, I use that little plus sign because I couldn't get it to just go on to the end of that wick. What a fabulous little hack. Did you get that, Julie? You won't have it if you've got the free TradingView account.
Yeah, you need one of the.
You need the replay.
Yeah, you need one of the paid versions, which allows you to get your chart data down to the minute level.
Yeah, I have that, so that's awesome.
Did you catch that? Okay.
I did, but I shall probably watch it on replay. just to be sure.
Yeah, just literally press the replay button with the red line when you get to one of the most recent candles where it's timing you out. So here we have, I think I'll move that while I'm here. That's my my other one. That's an old one. Have confidence in what you're doing. I'm going to move that down as well. So I've moved an old scan point. Right. So once you've done that, right click. Whoops. Right click to lock on. You see it's open. We want to lock that, and we're going to lock both our. We're going to lock the pitchfork. Come to the minus sign. Switch off the replay.
Yeah, now on this rewind thing here, you can only do it once. So you can actually go back like 28 trading days worth of 1 minute scans, which should be more than sufficient for any harmonic that I've ever seen.
You can go back 28 days on it.
Right, yeah, because you can rewind it once and then you'll get another 14 trading days worth of 1 minute data.
Oh, okay. And then you've run out of data.
Right.
Yeah, okay.
Because you can't rewind again.
Again, it's 28 days in total, so it doubles it.
Yeah.
That's great. That's really great. So now we're going to click back on our indicators and see what's setting up on EuroOrd. So I've got quarters theory, the orange 62 EMA, and the blue 15-minute. So this D point was painted 5th of July. This is our most recent scan. We've got a break and a retest once, twice, 3 times. And then it's the orange has crossed above the blue. So we've got we've got the pitchfork touch, one confirmation, which is mandatory. The break and the retest, that's the second touch, is break and retest is the second confirmation. And now we've got that third confirmation of the orange coming above the blue, plus the break and the retest of quarter theory. So actually, this was a very, very good trade there.
It looks like your pitchfork is off on this D point here in the corner here somewhere.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Actually, it is. What is happening to me today, Brian? I shouldn't go out partying. I went out partying on Saturday. Well, I didn't drink very much. Thank you for that. You're quite right. That is 3 mistakes I've made today, and I don't know why. Feeling in an extremely good mood. So very odd. I suppose it just shows you need to always check your trading stuff accurately before you trade. It's the lesson it's telling me. So
in your defense, though, when I found this replay trick for the D points and going back the extra 2 weeks, I found that I need to go all the way back to like the furthest X and A points. So doing the points that are in the replay first, and then going back and doing the further points, because when you exit out of replay, it'll slightly move the points that are not within the replay.
Oh, well, that's what it's done then. It moved the point because I had that on. I thought it wasn't me. Ah, so say that again. You need to do what?
Yeah, when you go into replay, you'll do the replay points that are within replay.
Yeah.
And then exit replay, and then move the C and the D.
Yeah, okay, so do the X and A, or the furthest points first.
Right.
And more often than not, it's just going to be the X point. It just happens that this is a gigantic scan. It's X and A. And when I did mine or whatever, I didn't run into that particular problem. Oh, I know what I did is I locked my points on first before I replayed.
Ah, okay. So that's another way of doing it then, because I had the magnet on, but not the lock. Sometimes I have the padlock on. So my X and A, and do I need to check the B?
Well, the B, as you know, really doesn't matter, but if you want to do it for accuracy or consistency, your X and A should be fine.
Yes. I'll just come down here then. Yeah, that's thrown that off as well. Okay, so I'm not going to go back and check the others, but you think they'll be fine, yeah? Okay. Yes, you think? Otherwise, I'll go and check them because I should be neurotic.
They should be fine, but if you're going to go do it again, you'll have to rewind time for the 1 minute check.
No, I think they'll be fine because of everything you and Matthew have just said. I can't see why they wouldn't be fine because I locked them on, didn't I, at that point?
Yeah, you did.
So you two have worked this system before, so it must be fine. Anyway, we're not going to be in an active trade at the moment, so double check it, everybody, when you've drawn it, because I'm just using this to show you. You've got all the, even though that's slightly off there, if it's only off by a pip or two, it's 6.6 trillion, so that's only off 1.9. Those are considered touches down there, and beautifully I can see it respecting the pitchfork down there. Look at that, to the pip. That's so beautiful. Love that. So this was, and here it's stalling on this old pitchfork. It's broken up through, and now it's stalling back on that below the 62 as it turns back down. So I'll just hide that again because we don't want to be looking at that anymore. So your entry here, whenever you're coming into a trade, just break down your confirmations using your trade checklist. So here, your entry would have been perfectly there, and it did the 20 pips up to that old pitchfork. In fact, it went on up to do, this is a fast pair, 45 pips. If you didn't get out there because you thought it was going to carry on up to quarter theory, then you would have come out at that where you see it breaking there. So here would have been your entry. In fact, you can see it's coming up to the hour there. So I would not have got in till it had passed the hour on a buy candle. Let's see if we can show you that. Right, so that's here's the upward move on the hour. Then it slung straight down. I haven't got my quarter theory on now. Horizontal line. So when you were looking at this, you had all those other confirmations, and you had a break and a retest there, but you were before the hourly candle, then it shot downwards, then you're below quarter theory, so you do not, and it's wicking off it. You absolutely do not want to get in it till it's passed above quarter theory, and then your entry would have been that buy candle, not the green one, the blue one, the buy candle there. Although it was quarter to the hour, but I wouldn't have minded that because it was not 10-2 or 5-2 or 1 minute to the hour. So that blue candle there, and then it tested the 15-minute, it carried on up, a very nice trend line here. So you wouldn't have seen the rest of that trend line when you were getting in, you would have drawn it something like that. And then you can adjust it once you're in the trade. So say it was off the blue candle. So very nice trend line there, and then it dropped below, but it only tested the 15-minute. It didn't drop below your quarter theory, so you wouldn't have minded about that. And then you could have adjusted your trend line coming up while it stayed all the way above the 62 EMA. And then if you hadn't got out up here, you probably would have thought you had no reason to get out. But if you looked at how it stalled out here, it stalled out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 minutes, 13, and then 14, and then it's touching, and then it pushed up the same level again. Can't make it any further up to quarter theory, and then it broke the 1 minute trend. Okay, you might have redrawn that 1 minute trend, but you certainly would have been out, should have been, because of that stall out the trade once it broke that 62, and it tries to come up again. Otherwise, you would have stayed in it. You would have had your day trade goal. You would have been staying in that another 50 minutes, just wasting your time. So that's how you read your exit according to our confirmations. And then, as you can see, it's coming back down now. So that's that trade there. We can just see where we might get in again. So we'll just come back, and then we'll come on to that other one I wanted to show you, and then we might draw some more. So at the moment, because how big is this scan leg per pitchfork? Okay, this is an exception because it's 80 pips per pitchfork leg, which means you can take a buy or a sell off quarter theory if you want to. Clearly, I wouldn't bother taking a sell trade down here because I've only got 13 pips. So now with this scan, I'm waiting to see it's stalling out on this old pitchfork here. I wouldn't use that for my trade entry because the current scan takes precedence. So I'm waiting to see, it might give you another entry here. So that might come down. It might come down to here and reject off, in which case you would be looking at a similar setup here. Or it might even, we don't know, do we? Carry on down again. I don't know if it's going to do that. I doubt it. And then head on up. So price can only do two things: reject off that or break through and break down. But at the moment, you want to see, is it just coming back down? You see how it's come back down, slipped through, and then continued up. And look at your trend lines on that one. So no trade for us till it goes back down to 1.6. No trade set up rather until it's at least down at 1.62 thousand. Okay. So now I'm going to come on to NZD USD.
Sarah, could I just have a quick question before you leave that one, please?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
The 9:30 EMA.
Yeah.
Is that just to give you an idea of what's happening in your other time frame, as opposed to, do you ever use it as a trigger?
Yes, because what it's showing you is it's 62 times
15, yeah.
15 gives you the 930. So it's showing you, and the orange is the 62, which is the current momentum in the market, the 1 minute trend.
Yeah, yeah.
So it's showing you what the 1 minute trend line would look like if we were looking at the 15-minute chart. Yeah. So if I put on a horizontal ray onto that orange one. Oh, look, you've got a nice pink one, just to add to my colors. And then if I type on the text, oh, and lime green, we're really going for it today. So 1 minute. Okay, so that orange line there's your 1 minute line. Agree with that? Yeah.
Yes.
So if we come to the 15-minute, then you can see it's moved off that. And it's not quite up at that level, but you can see that gap there. So what we're trying to find is where that 1 minute appears on the 15-minute. That's not very, let me see what happens if I put the line. Sorry, I've probably done the wrong line. Sometimes I'm not very good on this one. Let me just put that on there and type 15-minute. Let's see what that one looks like. Oh yeah, sorry, that was my mistake. So again, let me remove that. Right, so on the 1 minute chart, this is the blue is the 1 minute trend line as it would appear on the 15-minute chart.
Yep.
Saves us going up the time frame. So if we come to the 15-minute, you can see exactly that there's the 15-minute. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The orange is on the 15-minute. So what that tells us, because our orange line is the current momentum in the market, that if the orange line crosses the 15-minute, the current momentum is that orange line. If it's crossing the 15-minute, very powerful confirmation for us that that trend is confirmed, because that is the current momentum. So when it crosses that blue line on our 1 minute chart, okay, does that make sense?
Yes, no,
Yeah.
thank you for that.
So we'll either do it where we know there's a strong momentum. We don't have to have it actually crossing. As long as you can see you've got a solid trend line, it's very strong down or up, you're okay before it crosses. Some of us get in before it actually crosses.
Right,
you don't have to wait for it to cross, okay?
Yeah, no, thank you for that.
But that's, yeah, that's when it's really solidly confirmed. Sorry, I drew the wrong one, sorry.
That's fine, no, thank you.
Once you get a bit rattled, you carry on getting rattled. Right, there we are. So that's our euro board at the moment. And we'll come to NZD/USD. So the reason I wanted to show you this one was a number of reasons. Firstly, I'll just take out some of this old stuff, then you're not having to look at any more than you have to. So the D point is down here. And I haven't got this as one of the ones that's redrawn up to here. So I'm just going to check. Just going to check on the scanner what's happened on that, whether it has redrawn. Let's find it down here, if it's still on here. And can't remember which one I took it off. I'll come up to Hugo's Way. NU I'm looking for. May have disappeared by now. Can't FX choice then. Look at those two on there. NU. There it is. Now that hasn't said it's that's H1. I'll just write these points down. Just double check it. X is 10th of the 6th at 21. A is 15th of the 6th at 0700. B, because I may have drawn a slightly different one, 16th of the 6th at 0500. C, and there's that gap, which is open of market, 19th of the 6th at 22. And this one's still got the D point confirmed at the 23rd of the 6th at 1600. And this is an H1. So we've got, on mine, I've got, so I haven't got this scan then. Yes, I have. 23rd, I've got it, that's a different one. So I can't remember where I picked this scan up from. I don't usually write them down. So that scan is an older scan. I don't want to draw that on. I've got an older scan that's sitting at somewhere in here, 23rd of June at 1600, picking up that X point. And with the, that's the D, and then the X point's the 10th of June at 2100. So between, so there to there to there to there to there is that scan. I've just read the numbers out, but I don't want to draw that. So I'm going to leave. I wonder where I got that one from. Let's just have another look. FX choice. NU shark. It certainly wasn't that one. Because that's a different one. That's a buy scan. That's that cipher. So I don't think I'll be able to find this because I can't remember where I got it from. And I don't usually write that down.
The last NU scan I have has a D point on the 2nd of July, my time, like at 8:30 in the morning.
Yes, so you've got the same one as me then?
Yeah, that's pretty much what mine looks like.
Okay, so it hasn't moved the D point up to here, which is kind of what...
No, it hasn't.
So I'm a bit uncertain about this one because my gut feeling is I would move my D point up to there. But I'm not sure about that one. And it hasn't moved it on the scanner.
Not that I've seen.
All right, well, we'll leave it at the moment, and I'll carry on talking about what I was going to talk about on it. So if you look at this one on the 4 hourly, you will see, sorry about all this. You don't want to be distracted by this lot. Price isn't anywhere near that lot anyway. I can just hide some of this. You can see this W shape here. So I'm not going to go into it in detail because it's something that Les teaches us called the banker strategy. But you can see it goes down. This is 4 hourly, and it's what we dub this is an inverted Bart Simpson's head. So because you've got this W point, it's a strong indication to us that bankers now want to sell this off. So it's interesting that they've pushed up here because this isn't a particularly fast pair. Now remember, we have got news coming up in a minute, and that may be why it's wanted to push up. So I was definitely looking for a sell on this, and then lo and behold, it's gone up even more, which is why I wondered if the D point had moved. And when I drew this up on Thursday of last week, I'd already put that in to remind me that that's what I was looking for. So it had done the break and the retest off the D point. It had stayed all the way along because price will always want to come back to the 62. Look at that, perfect adherence to that. This is a wild spread of about 32 pips at close of market, and now we have market open. Then instead of coming back down, the thing's gone up. How much has it gone up at market open? So from there, it's gone up. Oh, what happened there? Bit strange. Try again. From there to there, it's pushed up 40 pips. It's rejecting off the outer extensions, come back down, tested quarter, broken and retested quarter theory and the 62. The 62's crossed down, but now it's come back up again. So I'm looking for it to come back down to this point. I don't want to get in until it's come down, probably through quarter theory now. But I'm still keen on this one for a sell. But I don't think I want personally get in there 10 to 12 pips, because I don't know what it's going to do at quarter theory, and you've got that perfect rejection there. So look at the way the spread goes to quarter theory. I find that really fascinating. So we'll just leave that. I mean, you might decide once it's come down that you want to get in off that point, depending on whether you've put a fib on it or what's happening. Personally, I prefer it to get through that brick wall. So I'm going to be looking at this at 0.65 thousand. Les might pick up on this in one of his sessions, depending on how fast it moves, because this is a slow pair. I'm just going to put an alert on here. I like my alerts in bright blue. Check I'll just have that a bit above. I'll have that 3 pips above quarter theory. And I'll have a look at it there, I think. I'll just put an alert on there. Okay, so that's NZD USD. And I just wanted to point that out to you. So let's have a look at a couple more pairs today. We'll look at some fast pairs then. I like EN, so we'll have a look at that. The other ones to draw are EJ Euro JPY on the M30 and NZD JPY on the M30. Both of those are in the group. Brian and Kathy have very kindly drawn those on. Someone wanted us to look at quarter theory. Oh, let me just see where that. Take that off. I know what I'm doing with that. Just coming back up into that scan, so I won't draw on it. I won't bring up the settings of any of the others. Quarter theory, I couldn't get it to come up typing in the full name, but Connor and Brian commented on it, and I found that if you type in quarters, you'll find it coming up here. This is the one you want. Automatic quarter theory lines by Monza Chimera, 893 likes. That's the one you want. Just type in quarters up here and that should bring it up for you. Okay. And some people are using that on other strategies now because it can help you get in or out of a trade more accurately, grab those extra pips. So just come down to the 1 minute. And let's see what this is telling us at the moment. So it's just testing that. I can't see a fib. I can see a trend. And it's just breaking that. I like that. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 touches there. So it's broken out of that at the moment. So I would like to be looking at this. And it's just rejecting off an old pitchfork line there. So I should be looking at this for a buy once it comes above this quarter theory at 1.73 thousand. Uh, 15 pip stop loss, and then you're covered by quarter theory and that pitchfork. And EN, as Chance always says, you don't get into EN just to come out with 10 or 13 pips. So your take profit zone is going to be up at 1.73500 to that pitchfork level at 1.73550. Another few pips up there. That's what you're trying to aim at on this one, okay? So wait for it. So it has crossed. We've had the orange cross the blue. That's number one. We've now had a break and a retest of the outer extension, but we don't normally like to get into things too much on the outer extensions. That's 20 pips. And we're waiting for it to come up and do this. We want to see a break and a retest of quarter theory and then away. And we want that 1 minute trend line to come back. We want price to come up and then be able to adjust our trend line so that price is above. We want price to be breaking above that trend line and going up, and then the 62 to be coming up there. So you want it on that top side, okay, not with the 62 pointing down, and certainly not below these two lines. Okay, so that's all I've got on that one. EN, we'll try and look at a couple of others before we go. So I'll pick fast pairs. I saw GN was there, was GCAD. I'll look at GN. Don't really like that because it's moving too far away. I can't cover that with my stop loss. That's 23 pips, so no trade on GN at the moment. Oh, another big one. So actually, if it breaks and retests the quarter theory, you could think of that for a sell if you've got the right confirmations. So that is the trend that it's breaking. So break and a retest here to the 62, and then put that on. You want to break and a retest here, but you'd have to have a bigger stop loss to cover you with that pitchfork as well, really. And then you're looking for it to fast pair, come down to that previous level of support and resistance at 50 pips. But you want to wait for that 62 to come below quarter theory, just to show it is going to carry on down there, and then see if price will give you a break and a retest first. So what's the pivots doing? Pivots are showing lower highs, so your trend is coming down, but you've got equal highs like it's stalling out at the moment. On the lower side, when what you want to see are lower lows, and it's stalled out there as well. And let's look at the hull, which we use, pivots we use for back testing, and the hull we use for exits, not entries, but just let's see what the trend says it's doing. I don't always turn it on. That is nice because it's saying on the 15-minute that it is red for a sell, so that is nice. This is the 1 minute trend, the line within price, but the bands are the 15 minutes. So it's saying over, we don't usually look on higher time frames than that because we're not in trades longer than that. So that is coming down. So if you're going to take a quarter theory trade, how much is that breaking by? Oh, okay. Well, we had this on EJ the other day, and I know Les said he'd explain it to us one day, which was where it only broke by, I think it was EJ, it only broke down by 7 or 8 pips, and it went on to do the 36 pips to the quarter theory. And he said he could tell that because he's looking at banker strategy across the longer time frame sometimes. But the reason we don't talk about it a lot on this session is because we're trying not to confuse people, just trying to keep it simple. But I know Les will set up in the morning. He's doing 11 a.m. UK time for an hour, Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, and he'll be looking at 25 to life, some BYOB, and then if he's got time, some pitchforks for us, and then I can see how it fits in with the setups he identifies in the morning on this session, which would be really, really helpful, because I do know banker's strategy can sound a bit complicated. I don't know it in detail, Les does, but it does fit in. When it fits in with this, it fits in extremely powerfully for getting those bigger pips, identifying a longer term swing, a bigger swing down or up. So that's our trend sort of shaping up at the moment, well, just about. And you want price, you want it below your 1 minute trend. Okay, so that's GN, and we're just running out of time, but I'll just look at GA very quickly, because I held this up at the beginning. It's entirely my fault, I'm very sorry. GA, there we are, another very fast pair. These are all 10 out of 10s, these ones, in terms of speed, so you have to allow for a 15 pip stop loss. So here we've got the D point up there. Look at that lovely stall out along quarter theory, lovely respective quarter theory, right up to quarter theory and the pitchfork. Oh gosh, this gives me such joy when I see that. Stall out along the pitchfork, down to quarter theory. Okay, it tried to go up there, did break through up there, and then stalled out, it's coming down here. So we just have a look on the 1 minute. So you've got the you've got the breakthrough of the orange below the blue for a sell. We are in a pitchfork, so we've got 8.5 break and retest, and we've got a trend line break there, I think. So
you got a nice trend for this, for
very
the sell
nice.
too.
What, go if I do a trend line that way?
No, for the sell, yeah.
Here this
Right
this
there.
trend line.
No, the opposite direction
The
for
other
the sell.
way, yeah. It's lovely, isn't it? This is a very nice shape. Do you mean like that?
Oh, somewhere around there, yeah.
We'll get there.
I know, I'm sorry. So if I, you know, so that is just about the hourly candle, not quite, it's about 10 minutes to, which is why it slipped through. So on these fast pairs in particular, you mustn't mind a little bit of slippage, but that's the trend that I like, that trend line there. So you've got an entry trend line, and then you'll have your trade trend line. So it's just coming up for the sell.
I don't know about you, the first red candle below that pitchfork, I'm in.
Yeah, it is looking very good. So 15 pip, you can't cover your quarter theory, that's all. But then you're looking for an entry at around 1.79275 maybe, and then down to your quarter theory where that previous line, where the pitchfork, the previous support and resistance is 1.7900 will give you 25 pips, will give you your daily goal, or go for 10 if you want 1-to-1 thereabouts, or your 20 pips is at 1.79067. So if I we better go because I don't want to hold up other people. Big blue candle up, which was your hourly fake out, doji candle, and it's just coming on its way down now.
But you know, there is no other sessions this afternoon.
Oh, is there no one on at 4, Sharon?
Not today, I don't think.
Do you do 4 p.m.
Tuesday,
Wednesday, Thursdays? Is that you?
Tuesday and Thursday we do at 4 o'clock. So you're okay. I mean, obviously, if you need to, right? But
yeah,
Brian is on. You know, the only one after this.
oh,
His 8
okay.
o'clock or his 3 p.m. Eastern.
Well, is he Brian? No, that's Tuesdays.
Oh, Monday,
No,
the Q&A. Brian,
he's
the Q&A.
talking about
Oh,
Brian
the
Knight.
Q&A.
Brian Knight.
Here's your cell candle, everybody.
But this is the candle to get in.
Yeah. It's just coming up to the 62 again. I'm not a seer, Sharon, as you know. I just try my best, as does everyone on here. But you just it's like there's a doji's just come up again, so it's just pushing down.
Before everybody gets too excited, I have a newer scan on that one. Then this scan is sort of out on the outer extension.
Now you tell me, Brian. You like me to live dangerously. So
yeah, the D point I have, I must have fixed this one this morning, is the 3rd of July at, it would be 11 o'clock your time.
Was that an hourly scan?
It's either 30 or hourly. It's where I usually find the vast majority of mine.
Okay, so we're trading off an old scan, which isn't always, you know, totally bad. But so this is EN.
Unless I'm on the wrong pair. I got it on for GA.
Sorry.
Where were you?
GA.
Oh, we're in the, yeah. Hold on. I was like, what pair were you on there? I must be sleeping.
GA.
Yeah, we were on GA.
Okay. Yeah, so I had a newer scan for GA. Try, it's either Trader's Way or FX Choices where I get the majority of mine.
There's some red folder news here in the next 2-3 hours for AUD also.
There's a what? Oh, is there?
Yes.
No, I'm not finding this one. GA.
It must have disappeared. I'll send you over the 5 points for it so you can draw it.
I've got the same, Brian. I got it off FX Choice, but maybe it's failed and disappeared.
Well, I can't see it. So, do you still use them if it's disappeared off? Because I don't tend to.
If I had them drawn on and it was a perfectly valid scan or whatever, and if it disappears, I call it good since pitchforks last forever.
Yeah, but why is it disappeared off the scanner?
I mean,
GA,
that could be
GA
it.
hourly Trader's Way.
No, that's not it.
The 2nd of July.
No, I got one on the 3rd. I got 1/3 of the July where it's that wicks down at that red candle on the right.
That
one right there.
6th of July. So you've got a buy scan coming up, have you?
No. Mine's the 3rd of July is the D point at around 11 o'clock your time.
Oh, here.
Yeah, and then mine's currently in the outer extensions, which is what that would show.
That.
Yeah.
Right.
Broken the extension.
So then why has your scan not appearing now on the scanner?
Good question.
So what we're saying is if we are in for a sell.
Yeah, that would be off of your old pitchfork.
So maybe we shouldn't be in a sell then. Because that's a buy scan, your one.
Yeah, the current one's a buy scan.
But personally, I wouldn't draw scans if they've disappeared myself.
Well, you
oh,
can't
mind
draw.
you, I wouldn't know it had disappeared, would I?
until after the fact.
Until after the fact. So this is a very fast pair. So I'm sorry if anybody's in this, because it probably will now come up to this blue line, in which case you're going to be out the trade, unless you want to take it up to here. But you are now in a buy. It's broken that 62. So I don't know if you want to cut your losses and come out, because that's somewhat messed up the situation, knowing that there's a new scan and we can't draw it because it's disappeared, even though I have got one there.
I think what happened on this one, the X point is only on the 1st of July. So this is a very spiky, short-lived one. I probably posted a picture of it. If not, Kathy.
Was it a minimum of 80 pips?
Let me double check. I always check that. So it's at least 80.
Yeah, I'm sure you would have done. GA.
Yeah, this one was 150 pips according to my trading view.
But you didn't put it in here. That's EA. GA. M30 Shark, that one.
Yeah, that's it right there.
And someone said it's now in the outer extensions.
Yeah, that's where it currently is.
Well, in that case, to me, that's it. I could be wrong. I'm not up at chances level by any means, obviously. But that, number one, it's disappeared off the harmonic scanner. And number two, if it's already down, the extensions might imply to me that that's a failed scan. Because if they drop right off the D point, I consider them failed. You know, down to the extensions, don't you, or not?
Well, the way I look at it is it was on the scanner for a period of time. The scan was valid at the time when I drew it, and since pitchforks last essentially forever, I don't know enough to delete it. I mean, I would find, since price moves in and out of scans all the time anyways, it was valid at one point in time. Okay, so if we're on the M30, then this has a low point of something like July the 1st. Is that? No, it's July the 3rd. Oh, unless, yeah, if you're talking about the X point. I'm talking about the X point. Yeah, it's the 1st of July at, here, let me flick my thing over to your time frame. The X point would be for you the 1st of July at 10:30. No, take that back, at 10 o'clock. Yeah. A point would be the 1st of July at 7 p.m. 1900. Yeah. The B point would be the 2nd of July at 3 in the morning. Yeah. The C point would be the 2nd of July at 12:30. Yeah. And the D point would be the 3rd of July at 11 a.m. Yeah. Thank you. Now, off of that scan, in my humble opinion, since for me it's off the outer extensions, I wouldn't take any trades until at least came back into within the extensions and kept trucking in a buy direction. Yeah, but what I'm worried about is if anyone hopped into that trade, what they're going to do about it, reverse it or what? That's what I'm trying to solve at the moment. I'm going to remove those till we sort out what we've got here. I'll change that to green. Just fade it back a bit. I'm on the M30, magnet on. Three. Put that up there. So
July the 1st. At 10. That's that one, so it's picking up that pitchfork. So July the 1st at 10. July the 1st at 1900. July the 2nd at 03. Which is that one. July the 2nd at 12:30. So it's picking up that. It is picking up this pitchfork. July the 3rd at 11. Right. Pitchfork on. Okay. Change that to white. Just quickly do this one then. Right. Okay, and just put back on, I didn't look at that A point. Or did I? Did the B I missed then? I think I missed one. Did I not? Maybe I didn't.
No, I think you got them all.
No, I didn't get the B. I knew I'd missed one. That's it. So let's just lock those on. Right, that's it. And Okay, so that's our, this is, I've put it on the 15-minute, but this is our M30 scan. So the green one was the one where I was taking that trade down there. Let's put our other indicators on. 9:30, 62, and the quarters theory back on. But this scan picks up some of the same points as, which means it's strong if it's picked up previous points on another scan. And as we've said, we have a buy scan, although it's come all the way out of the extensions. So that says to me that it is respecting this scan with the green lines that we were looking at, because it's out of this current scan. And on the 15-minute, well, let's see what's happened, whether it's crossed up above the 62 on the current trend, because that's the 5-minute. So it's just stalled off my green pitchfork and come back up. So it came down to quarter theory. And in fact, have we got a fib that we can put on the 1-minute? Let's try a fib. So a fib from, so we're looking for a buy. We would go from that low, I haven't got it quite on straight, to there. Ooh, and that's the 61.8. So that, sorry guys, that's definitely a buy now. Not like now, but that, look at that 3 rejections and a perfect to the pip there. So that is a buy. Do you agree, Brian?
Yeah, it's certainly looking good there.
Yeah.
You just got to wait for price to go around in the 62 EMA to crawl back the other way.
Yeah. Now, if you're on C Trader, you can actually reverse the trade that you're in. I do that very, very rarely because I end up getting in a muddle. But I'm very sorry about this one because I wasn't aware of this other scan. And this scan is good to go. So what is the hull telling us? Whether it's reversing or not yet. Still saying red, but you've got the green, little bit of red there. And pivots are showing lower highs, but stall outs on the lower lows.
Well, we'd have to wait for it to get up to the pitchfork extension in quarter theory before we could call it a buy.
I agree.
But it certainly looks like it's heading that way.
Yeah, although we would, but so some people do get in once it's rejected off the 62, but I don't think Chance would he? So if we put a long position on that outer extension, for it's a fast pair, so 15 pips up to 21 pips gives you a 20 pips gives you a stall out at the old green pitchfork. That's trade goal. Up to that's and 0 is our take profit 1. Well,
the TP2 is practically right at quarter theory too.
Yeah, which is very nice, isn't it? And then that would be, we use these fibs as our take profit zones.
Another pitchfork.
And another pitchfork. So we're not looking for this for a sell. I'm very sorry if anyone got in that. So we're looking for, and I think we'd want that a little bit above there. So what we want to see is we're looking for that. And then you've got a pitchfork there. Okay, so we would, on our strategy here, we'd be looking to get in at around 1.79610. Needs to come up above that outer extension of that pitchfork and do a break and a retest of it. How many pips is that? 8.9. So following that line somewhere around there by the time it comes up, and for the 62 to come above that quarter theory, that's about 9-10 pip break, and then the same again up there. So I feel that's a better looking trade, most definitely. So the lesson learned from the previous one is just because we see something, say we're getting in, we do need to do some analysis, not just like press a button without checking our facts. But the only other ones that we've got to draw that we've found so far, as I say, are Euro JPY on the M30 and NZD JPY on the M30. Otherwise, I think we're up to date, aren't we, Brian? I
believe that's the case. I found, yeah, two repainted D points this morning, and I drew 3. I got a GU, an EN, and no, wait, that's old. Where's my current one? Wrong sheet. I drew an NJ, a GJ, and an ACAD this morning, and then I had 2 D points repaint on an AU and an EJ.
Right. Yes, I've got NJ, I've got EJ.
That AUD CAD, I believe, just repainted again also. It's got a new higher high.
I haven't got GJ or ACAD done yet.
Okay, I'll have to go back and check on that, but these are the ones that I did this morning when I rolled out of bed about 6 a.m. local time.
Oh, and I haven't got AU either. I haven't done that one.
Yeah, that one, that's a repaint of a previous scan. Or a repainted D point. Alrighty, I got stuff to do, so I got a boogie.
Yeah. We'll call it a day then. I'll just have a look at this D point on AU. Oh, okay, so that looks like it's gone up there then. I presume is what he's talking about. So I'll just move that up there, circle it to remind myself to check that's what we are talking about. Save that, and then what you do is come back and find it on here. That's on the hourly. I can't see that there. That's the thing, you have to find out where they where they originally were. AU Shark. That is that one. AU Shark on the M30 with a D point now at 6th of July. 6th of July at 0800 my time, 0700 if you're in the UK. So come to the M30, you need the same time stamp. Let me just check I had that down there, yeah. AU. And then you just get rid of that. So all we're doing on this is redrawing that D point, nothing else. So use the magnet.
Well, if it wasn't for that red flag news on AUD, I would say that the entry point right here is prime for the pick and for the sell.
Yeah, although we are above the 62, but you know, it's a nice break and retest of the D point, which is our perfect entry. We love that, don't we? Oh, on the 1 minute it's coming down. Yeah, you're right. Very nice. But what time's the news? How much longer to go?
I believe it's going to be in 3 hours.
Well, maybe we don't mind so much then. 3 hours time. It's not half an hour or an hour, is it?
You've got American news in half an hour, Sarah.
Ah, okay. Yeah, when we don't want to get in then, do we? I'll just lock that on. So I've picked what I think is the highest candle. If you're uncertain, just take a horizontal line, and just, if you put it on the very end of one of them, you can see that one just wicks through slightly. So that is the one that you want, not that one, that one. And that's how you do it. And I know it sounds pernickety, fiddly, but that means they are good. They are solid forever once you've drawn them on and
Sarah,
locked
you
them
know
on.
what I do? Oh, sorry, excuse
Yeah.
me. Les taught me this, is if you hover on top of the candle to see which is the highest, and you look at the top there where the numbers are for your low, open and close and high, that will tell you which is your highest candle.
What if I do that?
If you hover on the candle,
yeah,
and then if you look at the top left where you've got the open, high, low, close numbers, it will tell you the highest one.
Oh yeah, I've never looked at those.
I learned it from Les, so
yeah.
That way you don't have. That way you can be really sure and don't even have to draw a line.
Well, you see, that's another great tip. You see, he's a bit of a super brain, that guy. Excellent little tip. Thank you. I love it. Okay, so we can't get in until after about half an hour after news, at least half an hour, and then we've got Ord News coming up apparently, as well as the AUD. I think that's what you just said. Quarters theory seems to have disappeared as well. Otherwise, that would have been a very nice entry where it just come below the 62. You've got the break and the retest, the pitchfork touch. You've got the below the 62, and then I don't know why the quarters theory's disappeared. Oh, it's down there. That's why it doesn't count. So you'd have to find one more confirmation. So 1, 2, break and retest 3. You've got the trend line break there.
It's sitting right on a 786 fib also.
Oh, is it? Oh, let's put
yes,
that on. So the only thing that's stopping us is news. What, from here to there? No.
That's the one that I had drawn, yes.
That's one. Oops. Oh yeah, okay, that's nice. Yeah, I was just a bit concerned it had come back up to the 100%, but it hasn't, so it's valid, isn't it? Because it's wicked off the pitchfork. And there it is rejecting off that 786 again. Okay, so we can't do anything about that one anyway because of news at the moment. So I'm going to call it a day. I've been on a bit longer because I messed up at the beginning, and I apologize again for that. So I'll just stop sharing, see if there's anything in the chat. Nothing in the chat today. So I'll stop recording.